Ladies and gentlemen, success is not merely the product of talent or luck. It's not about being born into wealth, having the perfect resume, or even working the hardest. While those things contribute, the engine that drives the world's top performers, the Elon Musks, the Oprahs, the Michael Jordans, the Marie Curies, is a simple yet profound force: mindset. Not just any mindset, the mindset of high achievers. Today, I will take you on a transformative journey to decode what sets high achievers apart. You'll learn how they think, how they persevere, how they conquer setbacks, and how you can adopt their mindset to create a life that breaks boundaries. This isn't theory. This is strategy. This is the architecture of greatness. Clarity of vision. Begin with the end in mind. High achievers have one thing in common: clarity. They know what they want. They define it. They visualize it in vivid detail. They don't vaguely hope to be successful. They define success in actionable, tangible terms. For them, a goal is not a dream. It's a plan with a deadline. If you don't know where you are going, you'll end up someplace else. Yogi Berra. High achievers visualize their end goal so frequently, so vividly, that it becomes ingrained in their identity. This internal clarity fuels their discipline. When distractions appear, they don't get derailed, because their vision is stronger than their urge for comfort. Unshakable belief, self-confidence engineered. Belief is not a passive feeling, it is a decision. High achievers choose to believe in themselves, even when the world doubts them. They understand that confidence isn't about knowing everything. It's about trusting that they can figure it out. That belief isn't built overnight. It's forged in small wins, self-promises kept, and challenges overcome. They speak to themselves with purpose. I can handle this. I will grow from this. I am capable. It's not arrogance, it's internal alignment. They don't seek validation to believe. Their belief comes from within. That's why failure doesn't shatter them, because their identity is built on their potential, not their perfection. Ownership mentality, the shift from victim to creator. High achievers reject excuses. They know that life isn't fair, and they don't wait for fairness to succeed. They take full responsibility for their outcomes. They don't blame traffic, the economy, or their upbringing. Why? Because blame is disempowering. Ownership is liberating. When they fail, they ask, "What can I learn? How can I grow? What's next?" This mindset turns every obstacle into a stepping stone. They don't get stuck in "why me?" They ask, "What now?" Ownership means they control their effort, their attitude, their actions. And in doing so, they control their destiny. Relentless work ethic, obsession with mastery. Talent opens the door. Work ethic builds the house. High achievers don't dabble, they commit. They don't try it out, they go all in. They are not afraid of repetition, boredom, or grinding. They understand that discipline beats motivation. Motivation is fleeting. Discipline is a decision repeated daily. They show up when they're tired. They push when it's uncomfortable. They chase mastery, not mediocrity. They don't strive to be better than others. They strive to be better than they were yesterday. And they fall in love with the process. To them, excellence is a habit, not an act. Resilience, embracing failure as fuel. Here's a truth. High achievers fail more than most people even try. But they don't fear failure. They expect it. They use it. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Thomas Edison. Resilience is the ability to bounce forward, not just back. High achievers don't just recover, they evolve. They see failure as feedback, not as final. They build emotional stamina. They don't let rejection, criticism, or setbacks define them. They extract the lesson, adjust their course, and continue moving. To them, pain is part of progress. They grow through what they go through. Growth mindset, a love for learning. High achievers aren't know-it-alls. They're learn-it-alls. They constantly upgrade their skills, their beliefs, and their perspectives. They read voraciously. They surround themselves with mentors. They ask questions. They remain teachable. Even after success, they stay curious. Once you stop learning, you start dying. Albert Einstein. They don't fear being wrong. They fear stagnation. They understand that growth isn't linear, but exponential. Every lesson compounds. Every skill stacks. And they know that knowledge applied is power amplified. Strategic focus, the art of saying no. High achievers understand that focus is a force multiplier. They don't chase 10 things. They dominate one. They protect their time, their energy, and their attention like sacred assets. They say no to good things so they can say yes to greatness. They set boundaries. They eliminate distractions. They work in sprints, not scattered chaos. Their calendars reflect their priorities, not just their obligations. They understand every yes has a cost. So, they say yes with intention, not impulse. Visionary optimism, fueling the future. High achievers are not just positive, they are purposefully optimistic. They believe in possibilities others can't see. They maintain hope even in dark seasons. Their optimism is strategic. It's rooted in vision, not denial. They don't ignore problems. They confront them, but with the belief that a solution exists. This mindset draws people to them. Their energy is contagious. Their vision inspires. Their hope ignites progress. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. Winston Churchill, they are the lighthouse in the storm, not because the waves don't hit them, but because they refuse to be moved by them. Delayed gratification, playing the long game. High achievers are masters of patience. They understand that temporary sacrifice brings permanent reward. While others want results in days, they invest in years. They don't chase instant results. They build legacy, whether it's saving money, building a brand, mastering a craft, or transforming their health. They choose what they want most over what they want now. They have vision. They have endurance. And they embrace the compound effect. Small actions done consistently over time lead to extraordinary results. Emotional intelligence, mastering the inner world. High achievers don't just master skills, they master themselves. They regulate their emotions. They respond rather than react. They remain calm in chaos. They manage stress, conflict, and criticism with grace. Why? Because they know emotions drive decisions, and decisions drive destiny. They develop empathy. They lead with emotional awareness. They build trust, influence, and connection, not just results. Their mindset is not just about performance, it's about peace. And that's what allows them to perform at the highest level for the longest time. Contribution over comparison, significance over status. High achievers don't chase comparison, they chase contribution. They know that real fulfillment comes not from being better than others, but from being of value to others. They rise, and they lift others as they climb. They're not driven by ego, they're driven by impact. High achievers are not born with supernatural powers. They are ordinary individuals who have committed to mastering their thoughts, managing their emotions, and taking consistent action long after the motivation has faded. They view discomfort not as a signal to retreat, but as confirmation that they are growing, stretching, and evolving into the next best version of themselves. Where most people see risk and retreat, high achievers recognize opportunity hidden in the uncertainty, using fear as fuel rather than a force that holds them back. They do not wait for perfect timing, conditions, or resources. They start where they are, with what they have, and trust that momentum will open doors preparation alone cannot. Every day, high achievers wake up with a sense of intentionality, knowing that how they think, what they focus on, and how they act will shape the trajectory of their life. Instead of reacting emotionally to setbacks, they analyze them strategically, dissecting failures not to dwell in defeat, but to extract wisdom for their next move. Their inner voice is one of support, strength, and focus. They've trained it to be their greatest ally rather than their worst critic. They understand that success is not built in giant leaps, but in small, often unseen actions taken consistently over time with unwavering faith. They do not define themselves by past mistakes or missed opportunities, but by the potential they have yet to unlock through relentless growth and effort. While the average person complains about circumstances, high achievers build solutions, adjust their strategies, and refuse to let circumstances determine their ceiling. Even when the results are delayed or the rewards uncertain, they maintain belief in the process because their identity is tied not to the outcome, but to the journey. They surround themselves with people who challenge their thinking, stretch their goals, and elevate their standards, knowing that environment shapes destiny. High achievers understand that comfort is the enemy of greatness, and they intentionally lean into activities that stretch their limits mentally, emotionally, and physically. They don't chase trends or validation. Instead, they build deep expertise, meaningful relationships, and a legacy rooted in authenticity and value. They're more concerned with staying true to their mission than gaining approval, and they'd rather be respected for their consistency than applauded for their popularity. They accept that criticism is the price of ambition and that growth demands vulnerability, a willingness to be seen trying, failing, and trying again. They set goals not based on what seems likely, but based on what sets their soul on fire, knowing that audacity often precedes achievement. They spend less time proving their worth and more time improving their skills, because they know that results speak louder than declarations. High achievers build habits around the person they are becoming, not the person they used to be, and they design their lives in alignment with their highest self. They don't fear the opinions of those playing it safe. They respect the wisdom earned by those who've walked through fire and emerged stronger. Where others avoid hard conversations, high achievers lean into them because they know leadership demands honesty, clarity, and courage. They approach life as a game of endurance and adaptation, mastering the art of pivoting without losing sight of their overarching vision. They know that rest is part of the process, not a reward for burnout, and that sustainability is a superpower in a world obsessed with hustle. They use setbacks to build mental fortitude, understanding that what breaks some people becomes the breakthrough for others. They cultivate gratitude not just for what they have, but for the challenges that sharpen their skills and test their commitment to excellence. They create before they consume, lead before they follow, and give before they receive, because their mindset is built on contribution, not consumption. They don't idolize speed, they worship precision, knowing that doing the right thing slowly is better than rushing toward the wrong outcome. They embrace the tension between ambition and patience, balancing the hunger to achieve with the wisdom to let things unfold in their time. They believe that life is not happening to them but through them, that they are instruments of change, innovation, and positive disruption. Ultimately, the mindset of high achievers is not a destination but a daily decision, to rise, to push, to evolve, and to lead from within, regardless of external noise.